Hello, it's Jay here again and welcome to another tutorial. So in this lesson we're picking up exactly where we left off in the previous video. So for the spawn blocks we added code so we could actually see the next block that would be spawned. And now we need to obviously add code to the Player GUI script in order for it to be visible in game. So I'm just going to come to my textures folders. Now I've created these textures and all I've done is drag them in and set alpha to transparency. I will make these available. As always, any extras are for the higher tier Patreons, so I will make them available there for people. Obviously you can make your own if you wish. But with all that said, let's come to the Player GUI script and we're going to create of type public and we want texture 2D. So we need to create slots in the inspector to store all of these shapes. So the first one I'll call underscore I shaped. And just close that line off into the comments. Creates variable to assign the GUI for the I shape. And of course we can just take this line and we'll just copy it. And we'll just paste that in 6 times. And what's that, 6 times? Yep. Now we'll just go through and we'll change the next one for the letter J. Next one is L. And we want the O shape. The next one will be for S. Next one is T, and finally for the Z shaped. And we'll create another line. This is going to be of type private, texture 2D as well, underscore next block GUI, close that line off. Into the comments we'll put creates variable to store the upcoming block GUI, and that's all the variables we need. So let's just save that off. So we'll downsize Visual Studio, we'll just wait for that to recompile, and we'll come to the main camera, the Player GUI, and what we're just going to assign all these shapes. And we're nearly there now. And the last one. Now we're going to come back to the script So in the spawn block script, as you can see, we're calling set next block GUI. We created the function in the last lesson and it's just ready for our code. So we're going to use an if, open and close brackets, and we'll call the name of the script spawn blocks. And we want dot underscore next block ID is equal, and it's to a string. So in my case, it's going to be I hyphen shaped. We'll enter underscore, then we're going to set this new private variable here, the next block GUI. To equal underscore I shaped, close the line off. So this stores, we went through this in the last lesson, the next block ID stores the upcoming block as a string. We're saying that if that string equals I-shaped, so these are the string names, so if it's equal to I-shaped, then we set this variable. This is the one we're displaying, not these. These are just for storing. So we say that is going to equal the I-shaped, and of course it's going to work exactly the same for the others. Let's get this into the comments. If next block ID is equal to, and I'll put this in quotes as well, I-shaped. You of course can put from the spawn block script if you wish. We'll put in the next line, then set underscore next block ID, sorry, not next block ID, next block GUI to equal underscore I shaped. So with that done, obviously we've got to do this for all the shapes again. So this time we'll copy both lines, and again we're going to paste those in 6 times. And then it's just a case of going through as we did before and just changing the letter. So there's basically 3 places. Let's look here, J-shaped, here in the comments, and here and here. And we've just got to go through and do this for each one. So there's not really much to say here, we just need to keep going. So we're over halfway done now. And after you've done, I do recommend just checking your code, make sure you've changed every single instance and that everything is correct. And just the last couple to go, and then we are done. So that is set next block GUI done and finished. So the last piece of code we need is for the on GUI. And what we're going to do is display the texture beneath where we have next block written. So actually I'll copy the label where we print next block, and just beneath that I'll paste that in again. And we'll change what needs to be changed. So the first one is it needs to be a draw texture, not GUI label. So go ahead and change that. And I'll just move these along for the moment. I'll split the zeros. And the first one, I'm going to add plus in brackets. And you'll have to bear with me because I've wrote down the actual values here. I'm going to use game manager, so I'm calling the game manager script underscore, and I'm going to use the screen width offset times 6. And I'll just put at this position, it's obviously just the X and Y value, so I'll just add that to the comments. And let's have a look at the next zero. We're going to say plus, open and close brackets again. Again, we're referencing the game manager dot, screen width dot height, and I used a value of 7. In case you're wondering, I do have like a copy of this project that I used to experiment with these sort of values. So I know they're roughly correct by the time I do the lesson. I say roughly because I may just tweak them slightly. But as always, you may want to experiment with these values to find a value that suits your project. But these are hopefully will give you a good starting place. So with that said, the dimensions is going to be screen width divided by 14, and we'll still keep that afloat. Screen height divided by 12. And we don't need any of this really. Let's just get rid of all of that. And all we need to do is say that we're going to print the next block GUI. Or draw should be more accurate. The next block GUI texture. And we'll save that off. So with that done, let's wait for it to recompile. We'll hit play and we'll test this out. So let's have a look. The next block should be a Z-shape one again, or a Z-shape one if you prefer. So we had, let's have a look. And it looks like everything is going right. So next block was T, and it should be T again. Let's just stop that. And we'll hit play again. So we'll just let this come down. The next block should be an I-shaped one, which it is. So the next one's going to be L-shaped. It didn't help the previous one with lots of S and Z shapes. It gets confusing, but this is good. L-shaped should be coming again. And let's have a look. Oh, it does still sometimes have this issue of blocks not spawning. It's just a simple bug. We will be fixing that later. I do know what's causing it, by the way, so it's not a problem. I'm just trying to get functionality in place at the moment. So it looks like it's going to be another S. And then Z, so let's just stop that. We'll hit it again just to make sure it's all working. So I, and T block. So it is working. It should have been T block again, but like as I say, it's still having this issue with spawning. Sometimes when the blocks come to a stop, they're not spawning. Like I said, simple fix, but we'll do that when we have to do more work on that script. We'll come back and we'll finish up polishing up any little bugs like that, or may just do a separate video. It depends on how many we end up having. But we can see the next block GUI is now working. So hopefully you can see this all right, and we'll stop that there. So with that said, we'll leave it there for this lesson. And in the next video, I think we may do something else different, so we'll move on. But as I say, if you want the textures I've used, they're available. I will make them available to the Patreons. The higher tier get all the extras. They're the ones that get the GUI, so please select the correct tier if you're interested. The Patreon's not a lot. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope to see you next time. And as always, until then, bye for now.